So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the global audience assembly today. Welcome to a fresh chapter of Turing Boundaryless Series. I'm your host today, Leslie Salazar, Head of Social Media Latam Brazil here at Turing. I'd like everyone to put their hands up together for not one, but two very special guests who have joined me here today. So we have Subhashini Rajagopal, Head of Talent Acquisition Team at Turing as the VP. Before Turing, she has led teams at Shippo, Verkada, Svadis, Google, and Yahoo. Oh my God, I'm reading your curriculum and it's big. But we also have Erica Hartford. She is a HR generalist at Turing. And previously, she has been responsible for onboarding, employee experience, and HR operation at Access Communication. And she has been part of Turing since 2021. So it's nearly going to be 3 years for her. So today, we're going to be learning about the people's team at Turing, the importance of having a healthy workplace, and something that we're all getting used to, that is hiring remotely. So girls, hello, welcome, all to you.
Hey, Leslie, thank you for that amazing introduction. I just want to say thank you to the team putting on this Boundaryless series, and to everyone watching. Really excited to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting us, and really excited to be part of the series.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about your background, Erica. Let's start a little bit with you.
Sure. Yeah. So before Turing, I worked at Access Communications in the security industry. It was a very typical office setting. So when the pandemic hit, it was very much a shift of how do we work remotely. And in my role there, I focused a lot on onboarding and employee experience. But since I've been at Turing, supporting a remote first workforce has been different in, so many amazing ways. And I was the first HR hire at Turing. So I've definitely had my hands full as we've grown and expanded pretty much in every way that you can. So it's been amazing to see the growth, but definitely excited to see the HR team grow now and be able to support our growing population.
And Erica, can I ask you now, you must be living like a really amazing experience, because like before, when you're in the area, you more or less hire people from the area, right? But now your boss is like, yeah, you can hire worldwide. How is that?
It's fantastic to no longer be limited to that 20-mile radius of an office. Is just incredible. It means that we're able to hire the best person for the job rather than the best person that lives close for the job. And because of that, I have met some of the most brilliant people at Turing. It truly is remarkable, the talent that you can bring when you open up your talent pool to the world and not just to your city.
Amazing. Then, Shubhas, I would like to know more about your journey and how you reached to this point in your career. How did you get to be here with us?
That's a good question. So for me, it's been a wonderful journey at Turing. It's just been 4 months for me here, and before this, I was heading talent at Shippo. So my career started as a software engineer, and from there, I moved. I was a software engineer in India, and then I moved here to the US. I started working at Yahoo, and I've always had a very strong connection with people, and that's something that I always enjoyed as well. So I, at some point, realized that I didn't enjoy coding as much as I thought I would in software. So I was exploring careers in product management, product marketing, and all those things. That's when Yahoo had acquired this company in Eastern Europe, and we wanted to explore and expand our product portfolio. So we've started hiring more people in the US. And I saw that there was a gap between the recruiting team and the hiring team. And I started helping the recruiting team a lot. And around that time, I had a sabbatical with my daughter when I was pregnant with my daughter as well. So I took the plunge and said, like, let me try recruiting. If I like it, I go for it. Otherwise, I can always come back to software engineering, and, never really look back from then. It's been a wonderful journey and really, really enjoy recruiting.
Amazing, amazing. Erica's a mom too. So you're a powerful women, mommies too. That is amazing. But before we move on, I'd like to know more about the different work roles of the people's team here at the talent acquisition team of Turing. How different are these teams? Do the work roles intersect?
So really we kind of have two teams, if you will, on our people team. We have our talent acquisition team, which Subhashini leads, and then we have the people operations side of things. So the way that it works is once we've made a hire, extended the offer, our great TA team, they hit it off over to the people ops side, and we take it from there and help with onboarding and really help throughout the entire employee life cycle. So while we do work together and partner together, our functions are very specific in what we do. And honestly, that lets us focus and just put the best of practices in place for each of our teams. And it's a great partnership.
Amazing. And then Shubhas, pandemic has actually changes, right? In many ways, positive. And I would like to know, now interviews have changed a lot, right? Because now we don't interview candidates in person. How different is remote hiring from an in-office or in-person hiring process, Shubhas?
Yes, pandemic has, changed this whole scene quite a bit. And the good thing is we've been able to adapt really quick. And in fact, from a candidate perspective, I'd say interviews are less stressful because they take them in an environment of home or home office where they feel very comfortable. Interviews can be very stressful, as we all know, and they don't need to worry about candidates. They don't need to worry about commuting or anything like that. And technology has helped us a lot, whether it's virtual meetings or breakout rooms for discussions. It's made things easier. And if you have a good headset and a decent enough place or a silent place to take these interviews, then you're all done. And also, this pandemic has helped in a way that you don't need to be constrained to location. Like, we are truly boundaryless, and as as I'm heading this recruiting team at Turing, I'm able to see like so many different people from different countries that are interviewing for Silicon Valley companies, which in the past was very difficult. And now, it's truly become boundaryless. And also as a team, whether it's the interviewers or the candidates, we send the details of the interviews and everything. Like, we over communicate so that they are prepared for these interviews. And the time zone differences and all those things, people have been able to adapt so quickly. And that's the wonderful thing about this. Something good happens, even with the pandemic.
And I feel, I'm not sure about you girls, but I feel sometimes it's a little bit more human because the background in an interview is actually very important. Like, some people really take care of it and they're like, oh, I'm just going to go next to my shelf full of books or my computer, and I'm going to put, but, sometimes people are more relaxed. And when I was, interviewing for candidates for even my social media team, I remember talking to Martina, a content member, and I could see she had a dog in the background in the sofa. Yes. And I was like, oh, I have a dog too. So we instantly connected. So I feel it can also be more human. I'm not sure about this. How do you feel about this?
Yes, absolutely. It's made us all like remove those constraints, right? Oh, you have to be like this. You have to present yourself. You have to dress up to come to a meeting. It's no longer that way. Like, you can be as casual as you can be and give the best of yourself. That's pretty much it.
So that's the part of getting to the interview, but the part of onboarding, that's another different scenario. So Erica, I need you here. Tell me a little bit, how is the onboarding process? How has it changed? Challenges?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because gone are those days of come to the office, we'll give you a tour, we'll have lunch all together. You really have to be way more intentional with creating that space for somebody to onboard, not only to learn their job, which I think that part is quote unquote the easier part, but the social aspect of onboarding of how do you naturally form that community and that bond, not only within your team, but with people that you interact with, or, just might pass by on Slack, or, in different ways that we communicate as a team. So one of the kind of main priorities for us was to create a consistent onboarding experience. Doesn't matter what country you're from or what time you're starting, we want you to have the same experience as anybody else in the company. So that part is really important to us. We don't want to give special treatment to one group over another or forget about one group over another. So everybody comes in with the same resources, the same information, and managers are, asked to make their welcome special and, help them, introduce them to their team. We have as much resources as we can. Like Subhashini said, they over communicate in the interview process, and we try to do the same. By the time they start their first day, they're probably a little annoyed by all the emails we've sent, but I'd rather them have too much information than not enough. And, full of that, we also have monthly onboarding sessions with our CEO, Jonathan. I find those so amazing because it's really special when a leader like that takes time out of their schedule to welcome new hires. And it really speaks a lot to the culture at Turing of, we're all in this together. We're all working toward this mission. And that means from, the newest contributor to the team all the way up to our CEO. And it's just a really special time for them to interact, ask questions. We have a bit of a town hall session at the end of that. So it's really reflective of our open and transparent culture. And then beyond that, we support them throughout their time here at Turing and really encourage them that, hey, you're a new hire now, but in a few months from now, you are going to be the one training new people to your team. So, with that in mind, what feedback do you have for us? How can we make it better? How can we improve and keep going forward? So that really goes to one of our core values of continually improving and making those changes. So what we're doing today will probably be different than what we're doing in 6 months. And I can guarantee you it's different than what we were doing 6 months ago. We are always making adaptations and just making it a better experience overall.
Well, I'm not sure what you're going to be doing in 6 months, but when I joined, just with more than, maybe it was 6 months ago. I'm not sure, maybe a little bit more around. I thought it was really welcoming because you were always so nice. And sometimes, like people say like, oh, how are you going to be like, so like connected to somebody if you only like doing via, written or whatever, communication or Slack. And it's like, well, you can talk to the person like we're talking right now. You can always sometimes you send me a star, like an emoji, and you think like, oh, and you feel like more comfortable. And then you also gave me a buddy, right? That buddy that could guide me over what was going on in the company. So I think your program is great. It was really welcoming. And I cannot wait to hear from the candidates to tell me, oh my God, we got this in the onboarding. So it's always good. I need to say.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's very sweet of you.
That's amazing. So let's talk now a little bit about the vetting process for the candidates. So culture fit is something all talent acquisition specialists look for when hiring people, right? So let's go to Subhas. How do you vet potential candidates to see whether or not they fit well with the company's culture? This is a tricky question, I think.
Yes, it is a tricky question. So this is a very, this is more of a measure of the quality of the people that we talk to. So it could be pretty different. So at Turing, what I'd say is we have a very diverse and distributed team, and we always seek to hire the most talented people we can find across every part of the world. And we pride ourselves on the quality of work that we do and also the desire to continue learning and improving. These are some of the signals that we see in candidates when we talk to them. Like, do they have the desire to work in a technology that's that's going to change the world? Like, are they interested in doing that? And also we look for certain signals in terms of cultural values of like, how self-aware are they? Are they open to improvements? Are they open to feedback? Like, as a company, we value long-term thinking, intellectual honesty, and continuous improvement. As Erica said, like what we did 6 months back, we are probably not going to be doing it today, and probably not 6 months from now. We are always adapting and continuously improving, and all in commitment and teamwork, and definitely self-awareness. Those are things that we always look as signals with the candidates that we speak. And in everything we do, we want to, and we strive to be world class and conduct ourselves with highest level of integrity. So those are some of the signals that we look for in candidates. And when you talk to many candidates, you get a sense of what they are looking for and whether they'll be a fit. So it takes time, but as I said, it's a very qualitative thing, so it takes time. There's no right or wrong here.
So Subhash, you just said the word teamwork. This is such a big thing in every company, right? And I think most of us, if not all, we have worked at some point in an office with people, and we've lived those coffee breaks with the chitty chatting and all this stuff. So I would like to take this thing back to Erica and ask her, how do you work in order to make this bonding, how to make this bond apart from work?
Yeah, so I think one of the most important things to consider, especially anybody that's considering remote work or going into remote work for the first time, it is a full lifestyle choice. It is, it's changing your day-to-day very drastically than if you were to go to the office, where you do have that opportunity to, hide behind your computer screen, put your nose down, and only focus on your work. But I truly believe in the power of relationships. And that is really what, it makes me more productive when I rely on my relationships to get work done. And I think that's true for many other people. So building those relationships are important. So we look at different ways that we can encourage people to, come out of their shells. So one of the more simple ways that we do this is just encouraging people to have their cameras on during meetings. This is, kind of one of our cultural guides that we have for people of be seen, show up, and it's very easy to turn your camera on. I know, we all don't look as beautiful as we want to all the time, but I promise we're just here to see your face. We don't mind if you, haven't put on a full face of makeup. That's not what we're here for. We're here for you, not what you look like. So we like to be able to respond to those emotions. And I find that is one of the easiest ways to connect with people, is being able to see them. Beyond that, we have a lot of different opportunities for people to interact with one another. And one of them is just my favorite. We have a meeting every other Friday called Celebrating Wins. It is this really impactful meeting that we ask people to come, share the kudos they might have for somebody else. Maybe they have an accomplishment from their team they want to share. Maybe they just want to give a shout out to somebody who's really gone above and beyond. And it's a fairly informal meeting. We just have people raise their hand, and we just let them have the floor. And it doesn't matter what level you are in the organization. Everybody has an equal voice at that meeting. And it's just truly beautiful to see the gratitude that's going around, but also I learned so much about what's happening and what teams are working with other ones. And just those little connections are super helpful. And beyond that, we have some really amazing employee run groups. For instance, we have a group dedicated to our women and empowering them. They meet very frequently, and just the love and community from that team is truly amazing. We also have some other fun groups, for instance, like a yoga club where they'll meet twice a week, do some stretching, and we're all sitting down all day long. So it's so important to stay fit and stretch out those muscles, but they don't realize what they're also doing is building a community in that. So I find those opportunities are really beautiful, and the people at Turing want to connect with one another. Yes, they've signed up for remote work, but they are still very much craving those social interactions. So truly, I feel very lucky to work at a company where people already want these things. So when you provide those programs for them, they're excited for them. And as an HR professional, there is nothing better than when people get involved and want to see that.
Yeah, I think it's amazing because I'm not sure about you, but I've even been learning about different cultures. Like when I talk to, let's say Maya, for example, she's in paid and she's in Japan, and I connect with her and she was telling me about food. But then I talk to Joges and he's in India, and I'm like, and I feel that I think I know a little bit more of that, of the culture, and they know a little bit about mine.
Yes.
So
it is so beautiful. And you've probably seen, we do have a company-wide Slack channel. And people will share their different festivals they're celebrating. Maybe there's a special moment going on in their lives. And the amount that I've learned from our team is just incredible. It's very exciting to hear about these things where in America, maybe gets little to no attention. So I love that opportunity to learn from my international colleagues. And, maybe I'm teaching them something too that they didn't know that happens back in the States. So it is exciting to be able to open up your culture to others, but then also learn about other cultures at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's great, Erica. I think that's amazing. Then talking to Shubhas, she was actually saying the word improvement a lot. And I think that's also part of her role. Like she wants the candidate to improve and she wants the company to improve too. So Shubhas, as the VP of Global Talent Acquisition here at Turing, I'm sure you have a vision of what the talent acquisition and even the people's team at Turing would look like years down the line. I'm not sure if you want to share part of your vision with us.
Yes, absolutely. So one thing that I truly believe in is growing leaders from within. I'd say like the best leaders don't just sell their vision to their teams, but actually they enroll their teams and bring them along. So that's exactly what I want to do. And instead of delegating work, I want to partner with my team and discover solutions instead of giving them directives. And that's not going to be empowering. I want to empower my team, and by asking more questions, I want to build the confidence in the team and get a better get better at decision making and have even more impact than what we are doing today. And also like I also feel like we should definitely as leaders to get the best out of people, you want to make them feel welcomed. You want to make them feel really comfortable and have a very sustainable work pace. So if you want a peak performing team, make sure that there are periods of rest and recovery. So definitely, I believe in that. And always, as a leader, we should be willing to adapt, stay vulnerable, and bring your team along with you. That's all I'd say. Like my vision is to empower my team to be successful.
This was a really powerful chat. I think that's great. And I want to complement this with Erica, because I know that even your team, talent acquisition, and even people's team, right? They have a cross-functional work role where they need to interact with people from different teams. So Erica, how do you manage and you ensure an effective communication between teams, especially in remote teams like ours in such a big company and growing, because we're growing really fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been wild. Like I mentioned, I joined back in October as the first hire, and things have changed. I mean, the team has grown, I think 4x since I've joined. So, I mean, that's truly some rapid growth. And with that, you're right. We need to be able to communicate and communicate effectively. So I am very grateful for our tools like Slack, like Zoom. Those have been instrumental in just, you escape time zones when you have this technology, because I can send somebody a Slack message. It doesn't matter, where they're located. They'll get back to me with the information whenever their working hours are. But, we're able to have a record of our chats back and forth and have that But you're also able to get things done, I feel, a lot faster than you can with just email alone. So I find, really utilizing Slack well is very helpful. But one thing that I am very excited for is the HR team is launching a new HR information system, or an HRIS. And we're going to be launching Hi Bob in Q3, which is very exciting. And this will allow not only the people team to be able to access all of our data, all of our information, but also allow our managers access to that information, to see their team, to do their own reports. And going back to what Subhashini said about empowering others, this will empower our managers to be able to make the best decisions for their teams in real time. No longer do they have to come through HR to get their information. They can get it when they need it. And that will be such an amazing shift for, just furthering this collaborative environment that we have. Really looking forward to that. But I mean, on top of that, we also have, other tools that we have, like project management tools and things like that, that help us keep on top of those deadlines. You can imagine we're juggling quite a few projects at once. So just being able to have your information organized in such a way that, no matter who looks at it, they know exactly where you stand. I find that to be the best way to work on projects, especially when you're doing multiple at a time. And yeah, exciting things are coming out of the people team this year. So I'm just excited to see where we go and see how our team members feel. I think they're going to be very excited because the tools will ultimately benefit them and make their experience better. And that's our main goal, is to make our team members' job easier in any way that we can and help them be better connected.
Amazing. Well, girls, Erica, Shubhas, it's been amazing. We talk about leadership, betting process, hiring. I love when you said, Erica, there's no time zones with all the tools that we have. And it is true, because sometimes I even ask you stuff like, Erica, my email is not working. I know you will answer. Maybe I go to sleep and then I come back and you're there. And then, I can see the green light, right? In the Slack, or that you have in lunch, or you write back and all this stuff. And, we get accustomed to this, and it's so beautiful to live in a world where you can work from everywhere. You can still be at your home. I can be sitting down in my little desktop and then talking to you and, empowering people. It doesn't matter your language, your culture, where you come from, your gender, it doesn't matter. So I think it's been very beautiful and very powerful. But I would like you girls to maybe wrap up with a sentence that maybe you can send to all these candidates that they might think like, oh my God, I want to work in the US, but I live in, I don't know, Nigeria, or I live in Madrid, or I don't know, Shubhas, what would you tell them?
I'd say things have changed. People have changed. So, always equip yourself, keep upskilling yourself, and you will find amazing opportunities. And here at Turing, we truly are a global company. We have so many people working across the globe. I didn't even know that those places existed till I joined here. And, really very culturally diverse, not just diversity in terms of culture, but in terms of gender, in terms of everything. And it's really wonderful experience to work with people across the globe. And as Erica said, learning about their nuances, like how do what's the new festivals that they celebrate, like learning about those things. It's really wonderful experience, I should say.
And Erica, what about you? What could you say after you enter Turing? Give us a little wrap-up sentence.
Yeah, I think really the most important thing is just be your authentic self. At Turing, you don't need to hide who you are. In fact, we hired you to be you, and bring your experiences with you, and know that we want you to help us achieve our goals. So just be yourself, and we know that you'll achieve great things.
Amazing. Well, thank you for everything. It's been an amazing chat. So I'll let you go.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you.
Yes, so, thank you so much
for
inviting us.
You never said where you were talking from. So I'm talking from Madrid, Spain, Shubhas.
Oh, yeah,
So I live in the Bay Area. Sorry. Go ahead, Erika.
No. I know you're in the Bay Area, and I just moved to Georgia, so the southeast part of the U.S.
True. You mentioned, well, in private, via Slack. Okay, girls. Well, I'll let you continue your day and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.